Do you operate with the Friends of the Library?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, wait a minute. Depends on what you mean by operate. Are the Friends of the Library part of us? Yes,
They
they
are.
they are our, they're the Friends of the Lacey.
5:30, start the meeting.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Do we have any announcements? Go ahead and move on to approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda as written.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the
Aye.
agenda is approved.
I'm just voting late.
Should I note that in the minutes that you voted late?
Yeah.
30 seconds delayed.
Catch up.
You're live, James.
My wife's been telling me that for years.
All right.
Okay, did everybody have an opportunity to look at the minutes? The minutes that I have in front of me say that they're a draft for September 14th, but I think that's supposed to be November 9th.
Did I not correct the date?
I think we're gonna
I
change that
guess
date.
not. We're gonna correct the date.
I sure hope I printed the right ones off, didn't I?
I'm sure I just messed up because I just usually open the previous one and
Let me
Yeah.
just make sure, because I did the printing and I want to take ownership of that.
well, I've got my.
Because this one talks about the budget having been submitted, and I don't think that would have been on there.
Let
No,
me take-
mine, the one I sent was 9 November.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me pull that up there. Then I'm gonna apologize for having printed off the wrong ones that were listed in my email.
Okay, so I have to.
Okay. Because I had. Oh, yep, this is from, I apologize, I printed off the ones from November 2nd that were for the meeting of the 9th. And so, let me see, Pam,
I'm gonna look on the spot.
yes,
Okay, well, do you need a copy of the minutes?
Yes.
okay, and if you give me just a second, I can run off the actual correct one. I do apologize for that. I should have looked more, a little more closely there. Okay, here is the correct of the ones.
Pretty good.
We'll count it toward the recovery of medical.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That's very kind.
Medical
They both
recovery.
off the previous.
Yeah.
Okay, so, do is it just, Nathaniel and I that need minutes? Or Nathaniel that needs, you're good? Okay. Okay, let me,
I'll need minutes.
James Wilson.
okay, so I'll print off two here real quick. Give me just a quick moment. Okay, be right back. If anyone wants to give me the September one, so they don't get confused, I can recycle them. All right.
I'll give that back to you.
All right, thank you. Michael.
Just wait a minute to give everybody an opportunity to look at the minutes before we take a vote on it.
Are we undoing the vote we just finished?
And that was for the agenda.
Oh, okay.
The agenda, now we're gonna.
Agenda we approve, okay.
Okay. Apologies on that.
She's been excused from the meeting twice. Oh, okay.
I'm the second person.
Oh, I see that. Oh, no.
Okay.
Fire the secretary.
We're spell checking.
All right, I have reviewed.
There's no period at the end of that
It should
sentence
be
either.
any belonging. Yeah.
To Does the library have volunteers? This is a ongoing from Scott's question last time. Do you have volunteers operating at the library here?
No.
Okay, so you don't, through Timberland Library, you don't, but through Friends of the Library? Do you have volunteers here or no?
The Friends of the Lacey Timberland Library are a separate 501c organization. They operate within our building by using our meeting room. And we also have a little space for them to operate there. So they have people that do book sort and volunteering for them. Yes.
Okay, so they do have some volunteers.
Well, they're all members. They're all Friends members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
The Friends are all of an entirely volunteer organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
good.
We're working on developing the library volunteer program, but we don't have it done yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
My wife received an inquiry as to whether or not she'd like to volunteer. And she said, what's the relationship of volunteers? And she was very, 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 very nice, but she asked the wrong person, me.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, the Friends of the Lacey Timberland Library as a 501c3 nonprofit. They process book donations. They do the bi-monthly book sales. They keep the book place out front stocked and at Hawks Prairie. And the money from those proceeds support programming at the library.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that she's dealing with a totally separate type of
Organization,
thing.
but exists to support us
Ah,
and who
okay.
we are close partners with.
Okay, all right.
Does that make more sense? Yeah.
That,
I move we accept the minutes from November 9 with the addition of the I in the person belongs to his name.
A second,
I second it.
you all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay, finally, we have amendments of.
Yay.
Thank goodness. Open public meetings. We are required to have our meetings open to the public. We're required to have training on why they're open and how to conduct them properly and how not, what not to do.
Yep.
So I received an email recently from Tabitha.
Yeah, I did.
City Lacey, we should,
Mhm.
Nathan, did you get anything about taking open public meetings training?
No. I have not
You're
received
supposed to
that.
have it within 90 days of being appointed. So let me look into that. Maybe you're exempt because you're a high school student, or maybe the email to you just slipped through the cracks. But I think that is a PowerPoint that you need to watch.
I can look recheck right now.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Did the youth council watch anything like that?
No.
Not that you can recall, okay.
So, and I think James and Pam, did you get training when you joined the board?
Yeah.
When we joined, and then I had to, the
Really?
email, yeah, it was.
I signed my new certificate and turned it in and everything last week. As did I. Yeah, so,
Mine is almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I did it in a real big hurry. Got home, and was told that I misspelled attorney.
Oh, no.
So, but she said, that's okay, we'll accept it anyway.
I am not fully caught up through all of my email after 6 weeks gone yet. I will not tell the board how many are left. I started at 2,500. It's better than that. So it's possible I have an email in there I haven't seen. However, it's also possible because I've done it, but I don't know if it was either the pandemic or because I am not a voting member of the board, but a liaison. It's possible that I did not receive it because I'm not required to take it. And technically, since you potentially could be a liaison from the youth council to us, if you don't have one, that might be why, but it's worth looking into.
Okay, so I will find out whether the two of you are required to take that training. If you are, I'll make sure that.
We're of course happy to do so, yes.
Right.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
checked my email knowing.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe that you don't need it, or.
Then it's more likely I don't have one either. So I'll feel good about that. Yes, yes.
Holly, did you get any requests for public comment?
I did not. And I do not see anyone else in participating attendees wise. It says 0 up there. So I think we're okay.
Okay, so let's move on to your updates.
All right. First of all, formally, I'll hold it up here for the recording and then show it to everyone else. For the first time in the 10 years that I have been managing here, the Timberland Regional Library was accepted as the business of the month for the Lacey South Sound Chamber of Commerce. And I am extremely excited because we've never been able to win that. We've never won that award before. And my director, Cheryl Haywood, was over the moon. She was kind enough to lend me the beautiful plaque that was created at the Lacey Makerspace by Makerspace staff. Isn't that lovely? But then I have to give it back to her so she can show the Timberland Board of Trustees the award and she can have it up there in her office. So
Great.
Well, why, if it was in by this branch, why does she get?
it says Timberland Regional Library is the business of the month. We are a branch of that, but it says Timberland, so it belongs to all of us. Yes, that's right. So even though we're who they use. That's fine. I also, this is not in the manager's report, but it's sort of like a little news announcement that I want to tie in with this. One of them is that Read Around Lacey in support, also that's in partnership with the Lacey South Sound Chamber of Commerce, starts up this Friday because Lacey Loves to Read in February is early this year, I gather. Do you have the date on you?
February 9th.
Thank you. Now that Raina's doing it, I have the dates. So we are doing 2 weeks, right, for Read Around Lacey, where like in the past, kids grade K through 5.
It's limited to NTPS students.
Yes, NTPS students, grades K through 5, come in and read to a business owner or volunteer and read a little thing that they wrote or a page from a book or sing a song. And then that person talks to the kid about how we use literacy and reading and those skills in our work at the library. And I have a nice little script set up. So if any of you are interested in picking up library staff will do it all the time we're open, but we have some of the friends that are picking up shifts and Charla has picked up shifts, or we'll have a place set up where you can sit and listen and give out a little sticker and some
It's a
chocolate
lot
stuff.
of fun. The kids are really-
If you're interested in doing that, please just let me know and I will pass you on to Raina and she'll get in touch with you and set up some time for training and for therapy. It's very fun and very easy.
Oh, I did it a couple of years.
Yeah, you remember Pam. Yeah. We're very happy it's back.
This is the first year that it's back.
Yes.
So, very excited.
Yeah. I'm just gonna shut that because that is me and my email. There we go.
That would be sending you an email just to see if that.
Yes, yes. I'll shut down my Teams too. There we go. Okay, that should hopefully quiet it down a little.
Is this particular time of day or? whatever
There are shifts available, I think throughout the day whenever we're open. And starting at no, because the kids will be in school. So it's after school times, because the kids will be in school
So
during
it'd
that
be
time.
like
So starting at
after
like 3, I think there's shifts for 3, 4, and 5. If I recall correctly. Remember the sign up sheet.
Raina wanted to offer me 3 to 5. Was one of the shows.
Yeah. If you're interested, I'll put you in touch with Raina and she can give you all the details.
Okay, so we don't send a notice to you that says we're interested. We send it to.
You can send it to me, but then what I will do is
Then
pass
you'll
your
follow up.
contact on to Raina and she'll hook you up
Alright.
with all the details, because I delegated that.
This is
And
starting February 9th,
No, it starts this Friday for 2 weeks.
Oh,
Friday the
tomorrow?
13th through,
day after tomorrow.
Read Around Lacey is a part of the greater Lacey Loves to Read program.
Mhm.
So the Lacey Loves to Read program culminates on February 9th with a visit from the Washington State author called Dan the Meinhardt. It's primarily for middle grade students. He'll
Mhm.
be at the Koval Center talking about his books, his life as a writer, and answering questions from audience members.
so this is the get excited for Dan coming to visit us
Okay.
part. Yeah. So, yeah,
Could you send me an email with a little bit of definition of what it is?
I will have Raina contact you.
Very good,
Yes, I can.
because I will
Yeah.
give it to my wife and
Yeah, because she might
I
enjoy
will-
doing that.
I
Yeah,
will totally amaze her at my intelligence.
yes. So email, okay. Let's do that for LL2RRAL. Anybody else? You're already on. Pam, are you too busy with AARP?
And I'm getting ready
Yeah.
to leave at the end of the month, so I gotta.
Yeah. You live too far. Interested? Anytime? No, you're a student. You're a student, okay. James, and remind me your wife's name, James.
Patricia
That's right.
Harrigan, HARRIGAN.
Song.
It's Corey, isn't it?
Corrigan.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I will email you, and so you can share that with her, or I will email Raina to pull all that together and tell you all about it.
Okay.
Okay, and then I have one more little bit of announcement, before I jump into here, which is I received a phone call from an attorney last week representing a patron of ours, one of our regulars. His name was Rod Maupin, and he passed away last year, unfortunately. We hadn't seen him in a while, so it was, sad to hear, but good to, know what had happened to him. We've had several of our regular patrons over the course of COVID that we just haven't seen back in the building, and we don't know if they passed away or moved away or just, they're just not comfortable coming back in public yet. So we heard that our patron had passed away. He and his mom Judy would come in pretty regularly to pick up holds and stuff. They were lovely folks. And apparently he left the Lacey Timberland Library some money in his will. And I thought that was very lovely. So I was talking to the attorney and saying, that's very nice. We occasionally will get bequests, either the Timberland Greater Regional Library, or sometimes the branch will. And then I have a gift fund at Timberland Regional at the Service Center, which can accept bequests specifically for a branch. And that money is held specifically for the use for that branch for capital expenditures and things. So I said, how pleased I was that Rod had thought of us. That was really nice. And he said he, wanted to kind of, once they were finishing all the paperwork up, he the executrix wanted to come and present the check. Oh, okay, that's nice. We can do something like that. And then he told me that Rod left us his entire estate, which I don't have a number yet, but is between $100,000 and $250,000.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to refill my gift fund.
You use the bill.
And I'm going to use it to build study rooms next year when the city is available for assistance with the capital planning
Right.
project part of it on there. So yeah, so
Hey,
yeah, we'll have that.
Share, Holly's good news. Or our good news.
Oh, let's see. I hope she's.
Can you hear us, Amy?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. Did you just hear the good news I shared?
No, I'm sorry to make you repeat it.
No, I'm happy to. One of our patrons who passed away last year left the Lacey Timberland Library his estate, which is between there's not an exact number on it yet, but it's somewhere between $100,000 and $250,000. So the gift fund that I wiped out with the remodel will be replenished, and I think I can fund study rooms next year if the city's got time to help me build them.
Oh my gosh,
No, isn't
that's
that exciting?
incredible.
Yeah, so I'm really grateful for Rod and for thinking of us, and of course we miss him and his mom Judy very much as patrons. They were lovely people, but it's very, very kind. So I'll be letting you all know what, how that is probably going to be. There's still a couple months of stuff to work out, of course. So it's probably going to be somewhere in late February or early March. And we'll have some sort of a presentation with, some little PR, because we do want to remind folks in the community that the library and the friends of the library, either way, either one is fine with us. We can be a place where people can, set aside or leave part or a bequest of some kind or a gift after they pass, which will help support the community in the library. So I was pretty excited.
Send them a thank you card.
Well, I will certainly.
Something that says, we appreciate it.
Yes, well, given, I'll definitely will send that along to the executrix and everything like that, but I'm thinking that we'll most likely put some plaques on the wall
Yes.
for Rod and his mom. and maybe name the study rooms after them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so anyway, those are the two bits of news. And then just do a quick go through of the report here. I want to respect everyone's time. Lots and lots of changes in 2022. We opened the Hawks Prairie branch, of course, this past year. We have a new normal with post-pandemic life for our library and our community. Our current, in the past few years, I've always done a current service status at the beginning of each year with how things are working. And I'm happy to report that we are currently in phase 5 normal operations for what is our new normal. We do still provide takeout services by phone. So if somebody calls us and wants us to bring their stuff, checked out to them to one of our windows, we're happy to do that, whether it's because they're not comfortable coming in the public place yet, or it's just more convenient. We're happy to do that. We still do about, I want to say like maybe 1 a week, but it's not anything like it was, previously on there. And hopefully that will, the community will continue to be healthier and COVID will become something like the flu, where we have enough treatments that, folks who might be more exposed to it can take the precautions they need to individually. And then we have good treatment if somebody does get it. So I hope that's what 2023 is bringing for our community. We changed up some, this is other big news, which you'll be seeing PR coming out hopefully fairly soon. So in February, we are going to change, hopefully for the last time for a while, our service hours. The first thing is we are going to add Sundays beginning Sunday, February 5th at Hawks Prairie Timberland Library. The library will be open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesdays through Sundays. We are going to eliminate the 6 to 7 hour and replace it with the 10 to 11 hour throughout the week. The 6 to 7 hour, like it was at Lacey, is used, but by very few people. And given the number of folks that are often waiting to come in at 11 o'clock at Hawks Prairie, we anticipate that 10 to 11 hour will be of higher use. And of course, there is no Sunday service and hasn't been since, I believe, 2009 in Lacey. So I'm hoping that Hawks Prairie will see some significant use increase once those Sunday hours kick in. And it's also basically a full day, 10 to 6. And in order for us to do that, because of course the staff that works here works there, and we're all one staff and we take care of both buildings, we are going to do, we are going to eliminate the 9 to 10 a.m. hour at Lacey and go back to 10 to 6 Mondays through Saturdays here at the Lacey Timberland Library. What that enables us to do is to cover library open hours with one shift of staff. And that way, if we do, like every place else, we, pre-pandemic, people sometimes came to work sick, right? Oh, it's just a mild cold, I feel okay. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. This is our new normal. If you're sick, you stay home. And we're happy because that keeps our community and our staff more healthy. But it does mean that we are more frequently down with, hey, Amy, come on in, yeah. It does mean that we are more frequently, we may be short-staffed than we, were previously. And also, while my FTE, that's full-time equivalent numbers, are really not that much less than they were, I have more full-time people now, so I only have 24 bodies working in the building. And so when you have a full-time person and they call in sick, that's 8 hours they're gone instead of 5 or 6. So just having one shift to cover at both Lacey and Hawks Prairie and having those shifts be the same of 10 to 6 will make it much more certain that we can keep libraries open when we are short-staffed to serve the community. So, and while we will certainly we do have a diehard small group of 9 a.m. people here that like to come in, and those folks will be disappointed, just like we haven't had a diehard group of 6 to 7 people here, and there's a few people at Hawks Prairie 6 to 7 that we will unfortunately disappoint. We are hopeful that the addition of the Sunday hours will help make up for that. And after you do the math, we're still increasing the total number of open public library hours in Lacey by 2 hours a week with this change, and offering 96 open hours across both buildings each week. So if you happen to hear anyone that, as word gets out, where people are a little concerned or upset about that, please just let them know some of the reasons why we're trying to do this. And it's mostly so that we can make sure we can do Sunday hours at Hawks Prairie and make sure that we keep the libraries open even when we're short-staffed. I have an assistant library manager now. Blake Bresnahan, who was librarian 2 and head of adult services, is now head of all info services, adult and youth services, and my assistant library manager. So if you come to see me in my office, it's now our office, and we'll both be in there for you. And if I'm not able to make a meeting or something because of that, he will attend in my place. We also have, I think I mentioned last meeting in November, that a change had happened where our public service specialists and our librarians are now functionally the same staff level. The people with the MLS have one higher pay grade for that degree, but they're basically going to be doing the same work. So after we're doing some hiring, we have some internal applicants for our vacant position, hopefully this Friday. But once we're all said and done, we have six public service specialists / librarians working at Lacey, and 2 more with their MLS, which is Blake and myself. So we have 8 degreed librarians, which hopefully means awesome service for all of you and lots of good outreach and programs. Let's see here. And we are still continuing to pay careful attention to our Timberland budget. I'm happy to say that Timberland was able to reach a really, really good contract with our staff. So there is no dangers of strikes or upset staff or things like that. We got a pretty good contract, and we're all gonna, I think, be able to keep buying groceries and paying for gas and doing all those things, even with these higher prices. Thanks to a very generous cost of living increase by Timberland this year. Okay, and then I'll let you just kind of review, things we got done for the building in 2022. We got new shelving and spinner racks for the Carolyn Art book space for our friends' ongoing book sale space right out here. New shelving and furniture for our teen space, new study tables for our quiet study area, new storage, paint, and layout for the staff workroom that's behind the desks, new ergonomic desks and task chairs for the operations supervisor's office and the youth services office, new staff lockers, new shelving carts, a new youth services area window cling mural that is bears with a castle and little free libraries in the little trunks. It's really cute. You should look at it if you, I think we pointed it out at the tour in November. New colorful shelving for the youth services early literacy collection, some new storage for my office and the adult services office, new display shelving for our adult services featured collections, which are just by the DVDs, and then new shelving and layout for our magazines, newspapers, and zine collection. That's pretty much it for the refresh, except for the city repainting the entirety of our interior this year, which I am very excited about. It will probably be happening sometime in spring. We'll let you know if we end up being closed for any of it. I think the hope is that we can do it in batches so we don't have to close. Hawks Prairie is open and was open 5 days a week, and then starting in February will be open 6 days a week, as I've mentioned. It's slowly but steadily built up use, and once we hit Sundays in there, I'm still hoping to see that jump quite a bit. Highlighting programming and outreach, you can tell that our strategic focus is birth through 5 early literacy support with a number of youth, teen, all age, with the number of early learning events that we had going, and also our various outreach for youth. We also had some pretty good events for adults and teens, and we'll continue to focus on equity, diversity, and inclusion, birth through 5, and local communities for 2023 as well. Also in our partners, our wonderful AARP tax help folks helped over 200 people file their taxes, and are back for more starting in February this year. And then we assisted at least 75 voters get registered on election day, and it was probably more than that because the 75 was who I counted when I came back at 5 o'clock. The lines had been full all day, but we were keeping track of that until I popped in. Also, I would like to point out for materials circulation, that's collections. You can see we're getting really near the 500,000 mark for physical materials borrowed here at our branch, which is getting pretty close. We were at I think I was at 650,000 physical materials pre-pandemic. I'm going to double check that, but we're not far from being at pre-pandemic levels for physical. And obviously, if you look at digital, we've blown that out of the water for pre-pandemic. So we are, between both of our libraries, we're over 750,000 digital and physical items borrowed. I would expect us to hit 1 million here sometime in the next few years for the two. And then in 2023, we're going to work on really expanding our outreach and community engagement efforts. We are the new Thurston County hub for Anywhere Library Mobile Services. So we'll be out of this branch. I'll be hiring a new staff person in the spring who will be taking a second vehicle. We're going to keep our outreach van and get a new Anywhere vehicle. And that person will be going to different parts of Thurston County, in town and outside of town, setting up remote library services out of the vehicle. Holds pickup and delivery, returns, accepting returns, possibly providing some Chromebooks and Wi-Fi and internet service as needed. We're still shaping what that's going to look like. It's a pilot project, and we're the hub for Thurston County, and then once we get all that figured out, other counties will be following along with that, the re-envision there. And then we will continue to be working on, as I said, our strategic directions. And I am going to be having a meeting to explore what partnership opportunities may be available for us with the new planned $7 million Youth and Family Center that's currently in development by North Thurston Public Schools, City of Lacey, and the YMCA that's going to be behind Nisqually Middle School. So stay tuned for that. There could be some neat stuff coming out of that. We're kind of like, hey, can we help? And they said, we absolutely would love to meet with you. So I get to do that this month, and we'll see what develops from that. Could be some really exciting partnerships. But Youth and Family Center, with our commitment to early literacy and supporting our youth, is right up our alley for what we're trying to do. So I'm glad they let us come to the table on that. Questions?
When they start painting, tell me either the paint in the evening, or make sure that your ventilation is working a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to.
Yeah, and that's why it may very well be that we close. It may be not
Yeah.
just because of the disruption, but because of the smell.
Oh,
We were able to stay open for the offices and the workroom there because it was a small space, but this is
Wow.
going to be a much bigger space.
biggest problem you're going to have is, even with small spaces, you're going to have to close the doors to limit it. And then your ventilation is going to have to make sure it comes from those spaces up into your units.
Yep. Yeah, so, yeah,
Oh.
well, the city's got good folks on getting that set up, and they'll be putting the project out to bid and making sure that we are safe and that everything is done properly. They always have when they're helping us with our building. So we'll make sure.
I bring it up because it's one of the items that's usually left off the bid sheet.
Oh, there's ventilation and ensuring that on there.
Ventilation is proper, ventilation is continued, and the spaces, ventilation is assured.
Yeah,
Or whatever closed spaces they're working on. So if they close these doors, paint this room, you're not gonna get the ventilation through here. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to have some fans in to start blowing.
I will make sure Chris has got that on his spec sheet.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
I did not hear from anybody.
I'm sorry.
Hearing this, I still hold one of our two positions. We need to elect a chair and a vice chair / secretary.
And I would help you out, but I am not a member of the board, therefore I cannot hold those positions. I'm just here to liaise with you all. And I think that that's Nathaniel's problem too. Yeah, so it's up to you.
The vote that I was in last year.
Yeah.
My term is expired,
Yes,
so.
so who,
The only extension for you. 2023.
let me look. I should have it on
I
here.
just looked on the website. and it
Did you?
was- Yeah, 2023.
Because they're appointed for, how many year
It was
terms?
4 years when I started and changed it to 5.
Okay. Were you finishing a term or doing a complete one?
I finished Helen Spalding's term.
That's
and I
right.
did my-
That's right. Okay, so, let's see. Spell. I think you're right. I think it was 2023, which means, yeah, we need somebody, either you or someone else on Charlotte's behalf to remind the city to let her serve again, if she's willing to do so. Okay, let me see. City has their new website now. Let's see here. Can always find everything on the website. Oh, government, that's right. There we go. Advisory boards and commission. Okay, got it. Okie dokie. Yep, there's our handbook. There we are. Glad we're on there. Okay. And here's the library board. Yes, Charla, you expire in February 1st. So in an ideal world, you're on the agenda for the last meeting in at council in January. Are you willing to serve again? Am I okay? Did you have you let them know that you need to be renewed? You might, somebody might want to just send an email to Alyssa and be like, you make sure I get on the agenda so I can keep serving. Just to help remind them, yes.
Is there anyone else?
Yes, Pam, next February
In 24.
is 24 is when your term expires, so, yeah. And then there,
That's 26.
oh, Charla, my goodness, you're special. You're listed here twice. Yeah. Okay, oh, that's right. They have it list. Oh, well, no, they didn't do that for Pam, though.
It's okay.
You're just special. Yeah, yes, James, you're up in 25. Nathaniel, you're serving your first term and it's just for the school year until 2023. And you're appointed through the youth council and how they do that. And I think they like to change it up. Because you know, we had a new person from last year, which is good. We like the different viewpoints and attendees. And then Amy, you and Scott are 26. So yeah. Right now, it's just basically, hey, Alyssa, did I get on the agenda for council meeting at the end of the month so that I can be appointed again? I think that's a worthwhile email. So yeah.
So the chair creates the agenda. You work with the city to get the Zoom and YouTube info to put in the agenda.
Mhm.
You have to send that to the city in time for them to post it to comply with the
Public
meeting
records.
regulations.
Mhm.
Yeah. You run the meeting. And you prepare the cover letter in years when we send the budget process.
Which we will be sending this year because we'll want to ask them to provide project management. And maybe if they have any extra money laying around,
Sure.
yeah, but I can fund most of the study rooms, yes. I just don't want to, you know, I'm hoping it's not going to be like $200,000 to cost that, but I don't want to clean it out again. I might need to do more stuff in another 5 or 10 years, so, yeah. So yeah, is anybody willing to?
Questions about it because we have other people who served in that capacity.
I know a lot of people are looking at your.
Oh, I respectfully not going to volunteer for that. I have like too much on my plate right now. So, I mean, I'm happy to continue doing the notes and stuff like that, but I'm trying to.
Charlotte,
That was-
do we need to do the elections as a slate or can we do the positions separately? Well, we have a volunteer to stay on as vice chair secretary. Do you want to catch her before she leaves? I mean, you know, before she changes her mind.
Fill the chair slot and then I will.
Okay,
So I would say that I am now I'm the immediate past president for the other board I serve on, so that's my last year where I have a significant commitment to that board. So I would be more than happy to serve in 2024. This year might be a real challenge for me, and I
a
don't
new position.
Yeah,
job,
well,
too.
there's
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So if we're in a huge pinch, I will do it, but I will say that I'm probably not gonna be the most diligent person that's that role this year.
Kind of in that situation myself.
I'm all for it. With you to be the chair.
That felt like a little bit of a bait and switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Charlotte, are you able to do it for another year, or are you hoping to?
I have a lot of other things going on right now, so I don't feel like I did all the things that I could have, should. For the board this year, so.
We don't think we did a
That's
bad
true.
job, Charlotte. You have a high level of skill and expectation of yourself because you are a librarian. And I know how that works, but I have to say that we feel you did fine, but we also don't want you to, self-care is important if you really
Well,
can't do it.
I was telling Holly. That I feel lately like I'm having trouble keeping all the balls in the air.
Yes.
And tonight I didn't have copies of minutes, I hadn't read the financials report, I didn't have a pen to write. I needed help tonight.
I never brought copies when I was chair, if that makes you feel any better.
We all have those things, and that's kind of why I'm trying to kind of step back, because I found myself in that kind of situation, so I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, I really do.
Do you all want me to get some straws?
I know, I mean, if you all are willing to, you want to walk rock, paper, scissors. To have a mediocre chair for 2023, that is my platform. I will be mediocre chair. I will make sure that we have an agenda. And beyond that, it's just gonna
I
be.
think that's really all.
Yeah.
I think that's really all people are looking for. I've got, I already know what the budget request will be,
And I'm on.
and Scott is.
That was right.
Being recorded, he's saying.
Yeah.
Yes, record it, yeah.
No, Holly, you do a beautiful job of making sure we do what we need to do, so I have no
Yeah.
worries about that.
So, yeah,
And I did not come into this meeting thinking I was committing to that. But I hear you, I mean, yeah, my media.
You would put that in the minute.
So would somebody like to nominate Amy for the position of chair?
Seconded. Quick.
I'm
not running out of the room.
For the position of chair. It's a second, all in favor? Any opposed?
motion carries, sorry. Okay,
I can sort of find you during the day.
yeah, you have backup and support and help. All right,
Yeah. Did I understand correctly that you are willing to be served?
Yeah, I don't,
Nice.
there may be 1 month, depending on how our meeting schedule works out, that I won't be able to be there, but other than that, should be.
Okay. I think we have enough people willing to support you by taking the notes.
yeah.
This year, and you
And-
came through, I don't think you.
I,
took a couple of them.
the way the schedule worked out, I was here.
So I think we need a motion to nominate Pam.
I'll second that one.
Vice chair, secretary.
Yep.
As chair secretary. All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Congratulations, Pam. Amy and Pam.
Amy and Pam, all right, I will update my info for the officers. And,
And I think I need to let the city know.
let the city know as your last official chair duty. Send them an email saying, here's the new officers, and don't forget to appoint me this month.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you should be good.
Let's schedule our next meeting.
Okay. Do we want to bother Rick for March, or do we want to wait?
It's been so long since we've had one of those.
We should probably see if Rick is available. Yeah. So add that to the third. So you have 3 things in your email. Rick, can you come? Are we good with a March meeting? Is that all right? With everybody? March, second Wednesday is, hang on, I am bringing up my calendar. The 8th? The 8th. Lost my mouse again. Come back. Come back. There we go. Okay, March 8th, 5:30. And hopefully Rick Walk would be available to come and talk to us, or we can Zoom him in. It's
yeah.
totally a valid thing if he's not
Or-
busy. Yeah. So we will throw him up on the screen if he's available.
Would everybody be willing to meet in City Hall if Rick requested that? I vaguely remember Scott Spence asking us to come to City Hall.
That's.
Fine with me.
Oh, because we were close here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with doing it because it usually means that, I don't have to do the tech, but I'm, yeah, John and Alyssa are usually pretty good about that.
So I will inquire about Rick's.
Okay. And so then all you'll have to do, Amy, is the agenda and the Zoom link. All right.
Is there anything for the good of the order? We'll go around the table and see what we're reading.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah,
Love that.
yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Does everyone start?
What are you reading?
I'm back in taking class. And I'm working on the second half of the Constitution. Is it working for us or not?
Oh, cool.
And I've got that going up through February. Finding out amazing things. The Indian signed treaties were not registered until 1961. They were kept in the basement of the White House and not signed by the presidents until 1961.
Wow.
And up until that time, the Indians were totally liable to be used as supplementary labor at $1 an hour.
Oh my
And the major state that organized it was California. And they used it. And they continue to use, except they continue to use prison labor now.
Yep.
For their fire crews. For their fire crews at $1.15 an hour. But they contracted out to a contractor who in turn bills at 15.25 an hour,
Oh my goodness.
but only pays for their labor to the state.
Yeah.
So,
You're learning some stuff in that.
and there is not specific language in a constitution that allows and addresses prison labor.
It's the 13th Amendment that says it's legal.
It means it's legal
Yes,
for people who are
imprisoned.
in prison by a jury or a legal part of the government for. And so they can be used. And this is used across the country.
Yeah, there's a really good documentary called 13th, that if you haven't had a chance to
Mhm.
see it, is worth a watch. That will go into how we actually didn't get rid of slavery. We still do it today, and we do it through the people in our prisons.
There is a bill in the Washington State Legislature that's been promoted. One of the representatives in the Washington State Legislature is a lawyer who was in prison for 3 years and had this occur to her. And she was a part of it and got paid 42 cents an hour for her work. And it was part of her being lent out to be used. And she now has a bill that if this happens, minimum wage has to be paid. And they cannot, because her 42 cents an hour was then offset a cost against cost of maintaining her at the prison.
Yeah.
So she ended up at 0.
Yeah.
And so she has now made it a point to bring this up, and it is very, very strong.
So recommending that documentary is a good one to watch. on
Oh,
there.
yes.
Yeah.
It's really some of what our Constitution is fantastic, but the vagueness that's in it has been made usage of
Mhm.
by a lot of, the Supreme Court has never been set up with rules or regulations. It just says we're going to select a judge on lifetime, and they're going to be able to make decisions.
Mhm.
But there are no rules for how it works, no time for where it meets, no time. There's nothing in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Anywhere that says us anything about the power that the Supreme Court has taken to itself.
Interesting.
Thank you,
We got-
James.
Yeah.
I want to still get us out of here by 6:30.
Yeah.
Move on to town.
So I just finished reading for our my neighborhood book club, a book called The School for Good Mothers, which I don't think I've ever read. Well, maybe when I was in, I think reading some stuff by Tom Swift, I remember reading really, Tom Swift being really angry. And I was so angry throughout this whole book. So it's about a school for good mothers, that when people, the government watches moms and when they make, or some dads too, when they make a mistake, they'll let the child walk home from school by themselves, or they left them in the car, they did this or that. The parent gets sent to school to make them a better mother. And they get these dolls, they're like robots that are almost human-like. They have to, and it's just, I think it's gonna be a really fascinating book discussion. I'm not necessarily, but it's gotten wonderful reviews, so. I'll tell you, I can't remember. It's. I was so glad to be finished with it. I was talking to a friend of mine last night who was in the book. I was, "Did you finish that book yet?" So we were talking, and it's just, it's just really, it's gonna be one of those ones that just creates a really lively conversation, which is,
That's the point. Yes,
Exactly,
exactly. Yeah.
I think it's ironic that you're reading a book that makes you so angry. Because I'm reading a book called Reading Joy. And what reading joy is and why it's good for us and how we can help students in our schools.
Oh, nice.
Joyful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's by Donald Miller and Terry.
Jessamine Chan.
Jessamine Chang. Thank you.
Well, I think I'm choosing Reading Joy right now because it's a little embarrassed to say that I'm reading Prince Harry's memoir at the start of it.
Why are you embarrassed?
I don't know, it feels.
This is not a reading shameful group.
It's just feels so voyeuristic in a way, but I'm really excited to read it.
Yeah,
Did you take it up from a library or do you actually?
I pre-ordered it in like because I knew it would be not
I
available.
was oblivious that this book was coming out. So, oh, there's a minute, I'm interested.
How long's your list?
I didn't even try here. I figured Seattle's a bigger system.
Sure.
675 holds on 250 copies.
Yeah. Also more people up in Seattle.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But she only 50 copies, 175.
Yeah, that's actually a really good ratio. That's a really
Yeah,
good ratio.
Yeah.
That's 3 to
I'm
1.
not gonna go to Seattle to get the book.
Oh, yeah.
If you're willing to read ebooks, you can look and see if it's on there. I'm sure they've got it in the book. If we don't, we probably do too.
I think the ebooks. I can't read.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Good choice, Amy.
Yeah.
Thank you for affirming.
I just finished Matthew Perry Dollar Bible. Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting read. It's a lot about addiction, Lots and lots to talk about today.
Cool. What you been reading?
Well, I finished 3 books recently. One of them was the autobiography of Calvin Coolidge. I have to read it for a scholarship.
Sure.
And then the other one was for AP English, The Jungle.
Okay, tell me one of these was fun reading.
The one that I chose to read.
Okay, yeah, which was, yeah.
The one that I chose to read, which was Dante's Inferno.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed that. That's cool. Yeah, it's a fascinating book. There's been a whole lot of really interesting sci-fi fantasy spin-offs about the whole concept of demon and angels of hell that are specifically from that book. So yeah, that whole good choice. Well, I am reading Martha Wells right now. Martha Wells wrote the Murderbot Diaries that I was reading, I think in November, which I loved dearly. And this lady is a talented author because I found another older series of her called The Chronicles of the Raksura, Raksura. And it's about it's about an alien world. And the main characters are shapeshifters called the Raksura, and they are very much not human like at all. And it's and the whole world they live on kind of reminds me of Avatar a little bit. It's very jungle and forested, and there's lots of things that will eat you. But the way she writes, she could write a book where it was about sentient refrigerators and you would cry if one of them died. Okay.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
good.
her character writing is fantastic. The main character's name is Moon, and he is a Raksura, but he was his colony was destroyed when he was very, very young, and so he didn't know what he was, and so he was raised among sort of their humanoid-like groundlings, and kept getting thrown out because their species looks very like another species that is very predatory and evil and preys on everybody. And you just care about this guy so much and his life and how he finds a place where he lived and family and home and all this stuff. And it's glorious. But it is everybody in here is super alien. And I never thought that I would relate so much to something that is just really not human at all, but it's still clearly a person. She's an amazing writer. Martha Wells, read everything she wrote. It's good stuff.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. And we are adjourned.